Well, hello, my friends. Oh, I'm so excited that you're here. I am Liz Lathan, co-founder of the Community Factory and Club Ichi. And in the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn my strategy for how to build your personal brand and expand your network and build your community to meet your goals. At the end of the workshop, I am going to send out the slides and you can get the whole deck so you do not have to worry about screenshotting or doing any of that stuff. And it's going to be recorded, so you'll have the video too. So for those of you that are joining live, we have Nicole and Cam on the keyboards hanging out in the chat, but I am also doing a full-on re-record of this as well. So we're not going to have the chat archives for everybody. We're just going to have the class that I am recording for folks so you can watch it on YouTube. So let me get all the fun sharing things going and let's get our little party started. So one quick little thing. I know that you're used to doing email, checking LinkedIn during webinars, but I'm going to ask you to do your best to stick with me. Grab a pen and paper or a Google Doc, have it ready so that you can actually go through the helpy workshop-y pieces of this with me. Did you do that? I closed out my email. I closed Slack, which is a big deal for me. I turned my phone upside down so no one can call me. Let's try real hard to be together. Right. Okay. So you're probably wondering what makes me qualified to teach this topic because you've never seen a personal branding class from me before. But I was asked to talk about personal branding at MESA, the Meeting and Events Suppliers Association. And then last week at the Collective as well, I got to give a talk on personal branding and then also at Exhibitor Education Week. So people really seem to like it. And I figured I would share it with you too. So here's my story. On the professional front, I've spent 5 years in associations, 15 years in corporate, and 6 years in agencies. And when I was at Dell, I went from a temporary contractor to director of global events in 5 years. My team called me Fix It Liz. That was kind of my personal brand there. You knew that if it was a challenge, I knew the people or the way to clear the path to help make it happen. But since starting my company with Nicole, I've grown my LinkedIn following to nearly 20,000 followers. I'm at like 19,000. So if you know a friend that hasn't followed me yet, please ask them to. I'm so close. In the last year, my posts have gotten over 1.8 million impressions. I was at an event last week and someone said, "Oh my God, you're that what if girl." So I guess now that's my personal brand, which is cool. But most importantly for me right now, thanks to the LinkedIn content that I put out there, our business operates primarily on inbound leads. So imagine your career trajectory after you understand how to position and present yourself. Can you see attracting business, jobs, promotions without feeling like you're clawing or fighting your way up the ladder? That make things a little bit better for you? So here's the primary goal of today's workshop. For you to leave here knowing that your unique personal brand is the key to your professional success. You've been putting it off. It used to be so easy out there. You didn't need to care about it. At work, you were busy. You were getting cost of living increases, getting raises, moving up. But all that seems to have stopped. Or you're ready for your next move because you reach the top of your department until your boss leaves. Or maybe you got laid off and it normally takes a couple of months to find a job, but you're going on like month 8 and you're starting to feel hopeless. Or maybe you have your own company and leads used to just flow in through referrals or repeat business, but the well has dried up and you're trying to figure out how to sell for the first time in your life. I feel that. Or maybe you're in a sales or biz dev role and you've been used to doing that, but you're finding it harder and harder to get people to respond to you. Any of those resonate with you? All right. So when we did the live class, I threw a little poll to see how people were feeling about the topic. I'm going to throw the poll up here, but I know that you are watching the recording, so you're probably not going to actually see it. But here are the questions. I would love to know, what is your biggest hesitation about building a personal brand? And the options that I put in here are fear of being judged, I have nothing to say, imposter syndrome, what if no one likes it? I'm uncomfortable promoting myself, or I just don't have time. So what I saw from the poll results when everybody took it, we did the live class, was that I am right on track with the content that we want to talk through today. So these are the 3 things I want to touch. Number 1, fear of self-promotion. Number 2, I have nothing interesting to say. Number 3, I don't have time to constantly post on LinkedIn. Okay, this is what we're gonna hit. Sound good? I bet you've started posting before, but you didn't get a ton of likes. And so you kind of felt defeated and gave up. You figured, what's the point? No one's even seeing my posts. It's okay. It still happens to me. If you've been worried that 2 likes looks worse than not posting at all, so you just don't do it, you're wrong. People aren't looking at how many likes you have. They're looking for the content that will stop the scroll, that will help them, that will tell a story that they can relate to or that they can learn from. LinkedIn sometimes feels like a torture chamber where you get 32 likes one day and then not even a freaking courtesy like the next day. But I'm here to tell you the algorithm sucks. But the people don't. It's less about showing up in somebody's daily feed and more about having content. So when people click into your profile, they know what you offer. When recruiters are looking at your profile, they know your expertise and they know that you're active in your industry. Believe it or not, only 1% of people, 1% of people post on LinkedIn. We see the same people over and over and over again. I am personally ready for some new stories, and I'm ready to learn from you. Here's just a couple of fun facts that I found out there. Employees have 10 times more followers than a company's social media account. And the content we share as employees receives 8 times more engagement than content shared by brand channels. This means that if you have your own company and you're posting on the company channel instead of your personal channel because you're trying to hide behind your logo, no one's seeing it. The correct way to do it is to post on your personal page and then reshare it on your company page. That's how you're going to get more views. But also, personal content from you reaches 10% of your followers, which is really freaking annoying, but way more awesome than when you look at company content, which only hits 2% of your followers. So these things go hand in hand, but it's all about the personal content. It needs to come from you. 92% of the population trusts recommendations shared by individuals, even if they don't know them, over brands. When you like something, when you reshare something, when you comment on something, it raises it up on LinkedIn to your network, which raises up the content that you're sharing and more people see it because people are trusting the content coming from you. If you're sharing it, people want to see it. So let's jump in to false belief number 1. A personal brand means it's all self-promotion, chest thumping, me. Look, here's the thing. You don't have to go lose 40 pounds and hire a professional photographer and have that perfect headshot. That is not what this is about. And FYI, I am not going to teach you how to become an influencer because I don't know. I'm sure there's someone that you can pay $1 million to who will teach you that stuff. But today, what we're talking about is your authentic you. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Fix It Liz, the what if girl, or maybe you know Nicole for making this face. That is your personal brand. And this guy that said it, maybe you know him for that strangely shaped rocket he made. Whatever. But this is what we're building today, not your influencer path. Now, there are definitely going to be some steps that you'll have to take that will put you outside of your comfort zone. I'm not going to lie. But you know, that whole fake it till you make it and dress for the job you want and all that. I'm sort of talking about that because you will have to put yourself out there, but I want to show you how to do it in a non-cringy way. So first, let's talk about authenticity. I was on a path to becoming director of the event team at a Fortune 50 company, and I had about 15 team members under me. Let me stop the share so I can just talk to you. So I had about 15 team members under me, and my director told me in my performance review that what was holding me back was that I smile too much, and it makes me look incompetent. She said I was too casual with executives, and I joked around way too much, and I needed to look more serious. Wow. So I had a choice to make. I could keep having fun at work, or I could grow my career. So what did I do? I stopped smiling. I went all business for like 2 weeks. Then in my one-on-ones with my team, people started asking, are you okay? Are we getting laid off? What's wrong? Because you see, people liked working with me because I was fun and likable and positive and generally provided a level of optimism needed in a stressful corporate environment. So I went back to being me. But I dialed back on treating executives like normal people, at least in front of my boss. I did get that promotion to director a year later when my boss took another role. So that's authentic presence. That's what I'm talking about. But let's touch on content here. It's not all about that just thumping me. In the enterprise space, people buy from people, not brands. And online, people buy from people, not content. So this is the important point here. Content doesn't convert. Content builds trust. Trust converts. So your goal with content is to build trust. All right, let's jump back in here. How many of you have heard of Russell Brunson? If you Google him, he will show up on every website you've ever visited and will ever visit from now until the end of time. So be careful and use an incognito window. But he's amazing, founder of ClickFunnels, and he has this concept called the attractive character. It's an awesome framework for your writing style. So that's what I want to workshop with you right now. Look over at the area labeled identity on the top right. There are 4 identities you can choose from. If you are already an authority in your field, you're a keynote speaker, you're an author, you're a CEO, you're a vice president, you feel like you actually have the gravitas to be the leader. You can share stories, you can share content, you can share information, and it's not weird or uncomfortable for you because you're already there in the spotlight. Take that leader role and share. But you're probably in the other 95% of us who don't quite feel comfortable with that yet. So my next one is called the adventurer or the crusader. This is somebody who's out there experimenting and trying things and sharing that, living that publicly with the world. Like, hey, I was having lunch at work the other day in the office and ran into the head of marketing operations and had this amazing conversation about how we could work on the event team a lot more closely with MOPS teams and really grow, blah, blah, whatever. Or last week I went to iFly. I'd never done that before. Indoor skydiving. Whoa, blew my mind. And now I'm going to take my team. We're going to do an offsite because it turns out this type of getting out of your comfort zone is exactly what we needed. So these are the types of stories that are going to relate to whatever your content is. We'll figure out that content later, but that's kind of the style of the adventurer, the crusader. Next one, which is my favorite because I was a journalism major, is the reporter or the evangelist. But this one, you're interviewing people and you're sharing what you've learned. Maybe the style is, I met with the vice president of marketing operations the other day, and here's what I learned that we could really implement in the event team that would help get leads to sales faster. Or I just read Seth Godin's new book, and here are the top 5 takeaways that I think are relevant to our industry. So you're not taking your own content, you're just using your voice and you're sharing something that you've learned and you're reporting it to the people who care. And then 4th, the reluctant hero. There's this problem. It's just never been solved, but I found a way. I didn't mean to be thrust into the spotlight, but here I am. And I have the solution. Now, don't be cheesy or whatever, but like my friend Nick Fugaro with VivaStream, he saw that there was not one single tool that could actually aggregate all of the data we were getting from events and put it into a useful measurement format and dashboard. So he created VivaStream, and he shares the story. He's kind of like the reluctant hero. Like, it wasn't there. I built this tool. Now people use it. You can try it too. So great stories that you can follow. And hopefully that helps kind of tamp down that whole fear of it's me, and I must talk about me. So now that you know who you are and how you will portray yourself online, let's break that next false belief. I have nothing interesting to say. So here, I'll turn this off again so that I can just talk to you. My first job out of college was for a high-tech company called National Instruments, now called NI. It was, I was a journalism major. And so when I got to NI, I was put in the media relations department pitching really boring articles to really boring magazines. But I did get a cover once, which is super cool to have my article on the cover of a magazine. But at NI, everyone got to work on the user conference. It was just part of the company culture. And I was assigned to assist the lady who was in charge of registration, hyping up the sales team to drive reg and doing attendee comms. Well, at the Christmas party that year, she fell down the stairs and a wine glass went right through her hand. Emergency surgeries and reconstruction and recovery and physical therapy. And so the event director said, well, hey, you mostly know what to do. It's yours now. I was 22 and I had never even been to a corporate event before. So I kind of literally fell into it, even though I wasn't the one that fell. And no, I did not push her. Or fast forward a few years to the story of how I doubled my salary with one phone call. I was working kind of unhappily for an association, making about $40,000 a year. And I was interviewing for a contract role at a tech company. The interviews had gone really well. I was super excited. So the recruiter asked me what the minimum amount was that I could take and be happy. And I said, I probably couldn't go below 35. The next day she called and said that they had accepted and I would start at $35 an hour in 2 weeks. I was elated. I hung up and then I went, wait, $35 an hour? I got the calculator. That's like 70 grand a year. Holy crap. So follow me for more salary negotiation tips. Or let's get into events. Like that time we created, I was at Dell World. That's a good one. When I was at Dell World and Bill Clinton was my keynote speaker, and he was an hour late for his keynote. That was fun. Or that time we created the world's first secret business trip. We invited 80 experiential marketers to join us at JFK and bring a passport. We didn't tell them anything else, and then revealed we had chartered a plane to Tuscany. So clearly I have stories. You do too. Let's uncover your stories right now. All right, let me share and get back to the fun stuff. I hate reading slides to people, but I'm going to read this one to you. So bear with me because this is going to make sense. Hi, I'm Liz. I'm a community builder and event attendee engagement expert who specializes in spontaneous think tanks for corporate and association events. With a passion for creating impactful, conversation-driven events and a commitment to return on emotion, I help companies engage their attendees and drive business outcomes by providing innovative event strategies and community engagement solutions. Known for my 20 plus years of B2B experience at Fortune 50 companies and a knack for turning events into vibrant communities, I aim to transform the way businesses connect with their audience, fostering meaningful interactions and sustainable growth. Blech. I'm never going to use that anywhere, but here's why it's useful. That first sentence, the elevator pitch. I'm a community builder and event attendee engagement expert. This is the sentence that I put in my About Me part of LinkedIn. I'm probably not going to use it at a cocktail party or anything like that, but it's helpful to frame who I am for somebody who's looking at my online profile. The next section is really talking about what I do, what I love, what makes me passionate, what I really, really do. And then the bottom part is my credibility builder. This is who I am, how I got to where I am today, and why I do what I do. So your turn now. This is the workshop-y part. This is your personal brand statement Mad Libs. Since you're watching this on video, I would love for you to hit pause and fill this out. Let me just take you through. Literally, I want you to Mad Libs this. I am a who specializes in, for, with a passion for, and a commitment to, I help, achieve, by providing. Known for, I aim to. So what you'll see here is that is exactly what I did to get to my paragraphs. I am, who specializes in, for, with a passion for, and a commitment to. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to this slide and I'm going to pause for 10 seconds. You can hit pause and work on this. All right. Hopefully you have paused and now you're back to me and you've filled everything out. Here's what I want you to see now. If you were here in the live class, we did breakouts. We had people actually networking and sharing these with each other and getting to know someone new. But online, I just want to keep on rolling. First piece of homework I want you to do is take that first sentence that you wrote, go over to your LinkedIn profile and update your About Me page and put it in there. Doesn't matter how long it's been since you've updated who you are and what you do, just add it to the very top so people can orient themselves when they come find you. Now, here's the fun part. All of the things you just filled out in your Mad Libs, the blanks, event attendee engagement, spontaneous think tanks, conversation-driven events. What you just did was create 10 topics that you can write about on LinkedIn. So if you look, that number one, event attendee engagement, tips and ideas are something I can talk about. That's what I do. Every day, 2:15 p.m. Central Time, my LinkedIn posts a what if. It's not stuff that I've done, some of it is, but it's stuff that I see out there in the industry or that people send to me. And I've become known for just saying, what if you did this at your event? And I do it every day. And it's super cool and fun, and I learn new things, and it's very simple. And it's one of the core topics that came out in my personal brand statement. Or spontaneous think tanks. I can talk about that. I could talk about clients that have used them at their events, or I can talk about how to if people want to implement it on their own. So just so you can see, it was not hard to come up with 10 topics. You've already done it. You just did the work. This is the part where you might go, great, Liz, but I wasn't a journalism major, so I don't really know how to write about that stuff. I have a solution for you. We asked my friend Bob. Bob is the name of my chat GPT because I asked him if I could call him Bob, and he said yes. So I asked Bob, hey, Bob, can you give me 10 topic ideas around event attendee engagement that I could write about? And he was like, sure, Liz. Power of personalization, interactive sessions, gamification, networking, leveraging technology. He gave me all of these great ideas, which is cool for me because I love to take thought starters and then I can write all my posts. But if you're still not comfortable with it, you can go a step further. So I'm going to take number 3, gamification, and go, hey, Bob, can you take number 3 and give me an opening paragraph? I just need some help starting it. Or maybe I'll say, can you write a whole thing and format it like a LinkedIn post with bullets? Let me give you a little tip. The first thing that it writes is going to sound like a robot wrote it. So you're going to have to go back and say, that sounds like a robot wrote it. Can you redo it for me? You can even ask it to write it in Dr. Seuss or a Shakespearean sonnet, whatever you choose for your personal brand. One little note, ChatGPT loves to put emojis at the end of bullets and sentences. So if you want to make it look like ChatGPT didn't write it, move the emoji to either be the bullet or at the beginning of the sentence or something like that. Just one little thing that people start to notice. Okay. So I want to give you one more way to look at what you're doing and not feel so cringy about it. Posting on LinkedIn builds community. If you're an introvert or just hesitant to feel like you're self-promoting, repositioning what you're doing as community building can really help. Even if you only post once a week, commenting on other people's posts helps them, and it elevates your brand, and it's still seen by your network as activity on LinkedIn. So when recruiters or prospects look you up, they see that you're active, they see that you're sharing content. It doesn't have to be that you're creating original content all the time. A network sometimes feels transactional. You know, they say a network is your net worth because it's all these people you can call on when you need help. But a community feels deeper. It feels like not just people you can call on, but people who are offering to help you all the time. That's what we've built here in Club Ichi, and that's what you can build on your LinkedIn, this community of people that you start to see and share and connect with. Finally, let's talk about time. Your false belief number 3 is that you don't have time to do all this. Great, Liz, you just gave me 10 topics that I can write about. When the heck am I supposed to do all that? All right, well, if you're trying to become an influencer and get 200,000 followers, then LinkedIn is going to be a full-time job. You're posting 2 to 3 times a day. You're commenting for 3 hours. You're DMing 50 people a day. But most likely, you just want to advance your career, appear credible to prospects, or create content that drives leads? Yes? Okay. So if you're job hunting, you should be posting 1 or 2 times a week. So that recruiters, when they look you up, and let me tell you, once you get to that interview phase, your hiring manager, the people that you're meeting with are looking you up on LinkedIn. They may be even checking to see if your resume matches your LinkedIn. So make sure that you keep that updated. But more than that, they're looking to see if you're connected in the industry, if you have industry friends, if you're a thought leader at all, if you have a point of view. And of course, it's not Facebook, so don't go crazy with all your political posts, but make sure that you are engaging within the community that you want to work in. If you're a salesperson, your post should be 2 to 3 times a week. So the prospects you reach out to know that you're a human who understands their challenges. If you can share client work, that's amazing. People love to see case stories. If you're not allowed to share client work, you can still share the types of projects you're working on, use cases for what you do. You can share the conversations you're having with clients when you say, I talked to 5 clients this week and they're all telling me that this is a major problem. You can share that type of information. Now, if you're trying to drive inbound leads, you should be posting a minimum of 3 times a week and also building your email list. So if you see my 2:15 p.m. Central Time what if posts, all of them end with a request to subscribe to the Engaged Attendee newsletter. So yes, I have 20,000-ish followers on LinkedIn. Only 10% of those followers see it. I know that. But if I can drive people to sign up for the newsletter, I have 8,000 people who've signed up for the email newsletter. So I can still communicate with them through email as well. Hopefully it's not all landing in spam or people are looking for it. But if you've got 2 ways that you can cover it and you're really trying to drive leads, that's really great, a really great tactic. Go from social media to an owned platform like your LinkedIn or your email list. Okay. Now you have your angle from your attractive character selection. You're a leader, an adventurer, a reporter, or a reluctant hero. Oh. And you have your whole list of topic ideas. So what I do is spend 1 Saturday a month writing. I just schedule everything out. LinkedIn has a native scheduler. You can just write the stuff and schedule it and set it and forget it. I post a lot, so sometimes I'm not inspired to write a month's worth of content all at one time. So I'll just do it, 1 day a week. I'll sit down on a Saturday at the beginning of the week and write out 5 posts and get them all scheduled in. If you're only posting 2 times a week, you can knock this out in a couple of hours for the whole month. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you followed what I said in secret trick number 1 and picked an attractive character style, then you followed what we created in secret number 2 and found the 10 topics that you can write about immediately. And then you took secret number 3 and built out your content plan. Do you think you could create a strong personal brand online that would build your credibility, your network, your community? Okay, now let me ask you another question. How many of you are excited about what we just talked about? Yes, I feel like I have direction. Yes. How many of you are feeling a little overwhelmed because we just went through a lot? Is it okay if I spend the last few minutes going over a very special offer that we've created to help you implement all of this stuff over the next month? Cool. So we have put together a 4-week program with 2 live classes, 2 group coaching sessions, plus content starters, LinkedIn header templates, and a full personalized 90-day content plan that we will build out together. With this, you will confidently showcase your expertise, build your network and your community, drive inbound leads because people know what you do, and you will get rid of not knowing what to post, worrying about what people think about your posts, and feeling like the other people on LinkedIn know less, but post more. So when I was figuring this stuff out, I ran into a big roadblock because when I was in corporate, I didn't really know how to format my writing. And I wrote a lot of long form articles that they're still there, but no one read them. My LinkedIn header wasn't acting like a landing page for me to showcase what I was capable of and position me as an industry leader, which didn't really matter so much back then, but now it is a huge deal to have that as your digital business card. Later, when I started writing for business, it wasn't really clear what I did or why, so I wasn't driving leads very easily. I had to figure it all out for myself and create a plan. So I've spent the last 10 years testing and trying and tweaking and paying for classes and chasing gurus, and I even hired an image consultant once. But I don't want you to recreate the wheel. I've already gone through the experiments, I've built the templates, and I'm just going to give them to you with this package. Sound good? When you come out of this program, you'll not only have saved the money I spent on classes and coaching and graphic design, but you'll also save what could be months or years of wasted time and money, because you're going to be doing it right the first time. There is no trial and error period for you. The biggest thing to remember is that it doesn't have to feel cringy to post online. You have so many stories to tell and so much expertise to share. And it doesn't have to be a full-time job to have a great personal brand online. So when you sign up to our Personal Branding Masterclass, you will get instant access to all the tools. And I kind of tallied up all the money I've spent on classes and executive presence training and image consulting. And from that perspective, it should be about $2,500. And then you're going to get the LinkedIn header templates in Canva that you can just copy and update with your words and imagery and use immediately. You'll get the content starter ideas. You'll get the content calendar template to map out what you're posting and when. And then, of course, the actual program, we're going to run it for 4 weeks in August. Weeks 1 and 3 are the 90-minute live classes, kind of like today's, but even more hands-on. And then weeks 2 and 4 are the group coaching sessions where we'll review the homework you've done in between classes and make sure you feel comfortable and confident with your content plan. And mind you, all of these are recorded, so if you can't join them live, you'll still get everything. Let me show you a couple of people who've had a chance to go through this process with us already. Dr. Jess Garza. Dr. Jess is in the process of relaunching her business and is growing her new brand to lean into corporate speaking and executive coaching. She's a performance psychologist who works with USA gymnastics team. She works with major league ball players, and now she wants to help corporations. So we took her through the identity process that we're going to go through in the 4-week course. And afterwards, we took her on a professional photo shoot for new headshots and lifestyle imagery, as well as video interviews that we will now start using to schedule out on her LinkedIn content. Then there's our secret corporate client. I can't tell you who that was. And while I can't reveal who the client was, she was looking to create an online presence that would highlight her leadership abilities, her point of view in her area of expertise, and her executive presence. So through a series of video interviews, we actually brought out a video crew. We crafted incredible stories, clips, and insights that all turned into 120 days worth of LinkedIn content. And it all started with this process that we're going to do in our 4-week program. So I want to go back and make sure you realize who this is for. I've got 2 distinct groups that are going to happen in the August program. One is for corporate event professionals who are looking to elevate their career or land a new gig. The other one is for company owners like freelancers, solopreneurs, or sales biz dev folks who want to build credibility and inbound leads. Now, you might be thinking you can't get started with this because your company frowns on sharing client stories, or you're worried that your boss is going to think that you're looking for a new job. So here's why that's a mistake and will hold you back from success. It is about building your credibility and sharing what you've learned on your journey with others. Why should those 8 people whose posts you're always seeing on LinkedIn be the only voices in our industry? You are the one who can change that with your stories. So that's why, in addition to the content creation workshop, we have the group coaching part. I find that it's often less about reviewing each other's content and more about building each other's confidence, reassuring you that it's okay to share these things and overcoming that awful imposter syndrome together. But a lot of this is about the content. And so rather than have you hire a copywriter or a graphic designer, we're going to give you these Canva LinkedIn header templates and our content thought starters and even a content calendar template so that you can have all the tools that you need to succeed. But you still have that fear that no one will like your posts, right? Well, don't worry. Those of us in the class together, along with our Club Ichi engagement pod, will make sure you never feel alone when you post. We are a community and we are here to help each other. And of course, we've got the private Slack channel. So this is going to be inside our Club Ichi Slack channel, and it's for the students of the program to help support each other, get content ideas, do peer reviews, post ideas. So that's the masterclass, the coaching sessions, the templates and swipe files, the Club Ichi engagement pod, and the private Slack channel. Now, Obviously, I'm not going to charge you $4,500 because that's crazy. But if I did charge you $4,500 and all that did was turn you into an industry expert who people turn to for guidance and advice and who's top of mind when a new job or project comes up, that'd be worth it to you. Or if all this did was give you the exact content that highlights your expertise so that you can be viewed as the thought leader and expert that you are, would that be worth it to you? Or if all this did was give you a peer group who could help you with your content and drive up your engagement to elevate your presence, would that be worth it to you? I had two choices with this. I could go as cheap as possible to try to sell as many as possible, but the problem is I can't really stack value or pay attention to you when we do it that way. So I decided to go with the second option, which obviously requires a little bit higher investment on your side, but in exchange for that, we can dedicate more time, energy, and resources to guarantee your success. So if you got that promotion or landed that dream job or got 2 new clients from what you learned in this program, what would that be worth to you? You can probably see why we had people pay us $12,000 for similar results, because to them, it wasn't a cost. It was an investment. They were building a business or growing their career on a path to vice president. So let me add a little color to this to you right now. We've got it listed on the website at $1,297. You could go buy it right there. Anyone can. But since you invested your time with me here today watching this video, I think you've proven that you're really ready to build your presence on LinkedIn. And I'm making a special offer for attendees just from this sampler class. If you hired a professional to redo your graphics and copyright all your content, I'm sure it would cost at least $5,000. But because you're learning how to do it yourself, and I'm giving you all the tools and resources to make it happen fast, you pay only $397. By the way, if you're a Club Ichi insider, it's just $150. That's one of the many perks of being a paid insider. And yes, you can go join and be an insider and then get the discount. At this point, you have 2 choices. You can choose to do nothing. If you do nothing with the information you learned over the last hour, what will you get? Nothing. Or you can choose to take a leap of faith. Just test it out. See if it works for you. And it's okay if it doesn't work for you. Nicole has been bugging me to do one of these forever. I think this is time. I'm so confident that you'll be able to make a shift in your online presence that I'm willing to offer a money back guarantee. So if on August 30th, you decide the whole thing was crap and you want your money back, you can have it. We'll put it in a savings account just in case. But the real question is this: is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it only does half of what I claim today, it'll pay for itself as soon as you land that job, bring in that new client, or get that promotion. But I have one more fun bonus to offer you. The first 20 people who join the program will get a free 30-minute personal consult, content and profile review, one-on-one coaching session with me and Nicole. So we are super excited to have some fun with you. We would love to share. We've got about 10 people who've signed up so far. So the next 10 that sign up will get this as well. So we hope to have you in here. Now, here is the full program. It is 2 live classes, 2 live group coaching sessions, templates, content starters, content calendars, an engagement pod, a private Slack channel inside Club Ichi, and a special offer of one-on-one support, not for $5,000, but for $397. I'm going to leave this ticket offer up on the website until Friday, but then it's going to go away and it's going to go back to the $1,297, which is still not bad for everything that we're offering. But if you're an insider, you'll still get the 62% discount. So the class will be just $500 for you. So that's still $800 off of the non-insider price. Okay, while you think about snagging that $397 offer, I want to answer a few questions that you probably have in your head. We saw them from the live class earlier. Here's a few that I know I need to answer. Yes, the classes and group coaching will all be recorded and available to you forever. The classes will be on Zoom and they'll be workshoppy in nature. We'll have some instruction and we'll do some stuff live together, and you will have homework. Then when you come to the group coaching session the next week, we'll pick some challenges to work through together. Then we'll kind of do the same thing, the next class and then the next group coaching. So that's kind of how it'll work. Yes, you'll get access to all the templates and content ideas as soon as you sign up. You'll start getting an automated set of emails with everything in it. So the moment you sign up, you'll get those LinkedIn headers and I think you get the invitation to the Slack channel, and then what comes next are the content starters. So you'll kind of get it all dripped out all before the class starts. There's some questions about the engagement pod. Social media platforms discourage having a group of people colluding on engagement, but ours is much more organic in nature. We have a larger group of people who jump into support rather than structured engagement pods that'll get suppressed by LinkedIn. So this is definitely an organic, community-led engagement pod to help each other out. After the masterclass, the Slack channel will continue, so you can continue to share content ideas and get support on your posts. Okay. So we're at time. We're at the end of my content. I really hope this was helpful for you today. And I also really hope you'll consider joining us for the 4-week program, because I really, really, really want to see you claim your space on LinkedIn. We need more diverse perspectives, more stories, and more ideas elevating our industry. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Jump over to, quick point. Also, if you are an insider, you'll see there isn't like a special area for insiders. You'll just pick the $397 one. And when you pick one, it will update and remove money. So it'll apply your discount, and you'll see that it's just $150 when you do that. If you have any issues whatsoever, reach out to me or Cam or Nicole, and we can get you all set up. Thank you again for spending time with me today. I look forward to seeing you in the 4-week program so that we can all get more content, elevate ourselves on LinkedIn, and share everything that we know and bring us all together. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you soon.